right, it all begins back in August of 2015.
Trevor and I met at a game night when I first came to college. We were playing this game called Swedish Twister. We were the last ones in it together.
And it got really awkward, so we just ended it there.
We both had the thought of, good thing I'm never gonna see her again, or good thing I'm never gonna see him again.
Oh, I'll never see this person ever again in my life. And went on my merry way.
Then a couple weeks later, we found out we were in choir together, and he sat right behind me.
I was just infatuated with her. She just had the voice of an angel.
So his cousin Austin told Trevor, dude, you have got to ask this girl on a date. Like, she's perfect for you.
Couldn't do it. I couldn't ask her on a date. I had nothing to go off of. I hardly knew her. And so I never asked her on a date. Then the next semester, I'd given up hope. And oddly enough, we were in the other choir together. And it was just as if God was putting us in each other's paths just so that we could meet each other over and over again until we got it right.
So we started talking more, and so I invited him to a game night. And I was like, so Trevor, you should come to these game nights more often. And he was like, oh, I would, but no one ever invites me. And so I was like, okay, well, it's because no one has your phone number. You know, we'd invite you. You know, literally perfect situation to get a phone number, at least in my head. And he responds with, I don't give out my phone number. But then awkwardly, like 5 to 10 minutes later after a conversation, he walks over to me and he's like, so could I have your phone number?
And every day after that, we kept talking and kept hanging out and kept going on new adventures.
I was the one who said I love you first.
Savannah definitely said I love you first. She always tells me the story that she would mutter it under her breath, and I would never hear.
And I was like, oh crap, like no, like don't come out yet, like it's only, like no, not yet. But then I like told him face to face on Valentine's Day, and I was still the first one to initiate that. And then he said it back.
I didn't really know what love was when I realized that her safety above all else was paramount, where I realized that I cared about her so much that I forgot about myself. I knew that I loved her. So when I decided to propose to Savannah, I wanted to make it special. I wanted to make it perfect. One of the only arguments that we had while we were dating was whether or not I would go with her to her family trip to Florida. I was very obstinate and said, no, I am not going. I hardly knew her family. I didn't want to be stuck with them 24/7 for an entire week. When I finally decided that I was going to propose to her, I thought it would be perfect to surprise her in Florida because that was the only thing that we ever thought about. Eventually, I just decided that I would just walk up to her on the beach.
My mom like tells everyone that day, okay, everyone has to meet at the beach at noon. Like, buy the umbrellas, has to be at noon. I was like, well, that's weird. Our family vacations are never like scheduled like that, but okay. So I was playing in the water, and then my mom was holding up her phone. I was like, oh, family video moment. You know, I'm walking out of the water like, hey, Mom. And then she turns her phone over, and Trevor is right there.
And then I came along the seashore, flowers in hand, ring in the other hand, and just walked up to her. And it was one of the best moments of my life. She had no idea that I was going to be there.
It was like a movie in my head. I was like, this is not real life. Like, you are not just standing right here right now.
She couldn't speak, so she just nodded her head. In the heat of the moment, I didn't really hear her say anything, so afterwards I was like, so did you really say yes? And she's like, yes, I did.
What I want Trevor to know about how I feel about him is that I choose him forever. Every day, I love him so much, and I get to know him more and more, and I just love him more and more for it. and that I choose him forever, and I wouldn't pick anyone else because I just love him so much.
I want Savannah to know how much I care about her. More than anything in this world, I want her to be happy. And I want her to have everything. I want her to have a good life. And I will do anything that it takes to get there. Because I love her. And that's all that I want for her.